Hi, I'd like to tell you about a bad habit that I have. Sometimes I buy like one item or I decide to make one item, and in my mind I was like, you know what? It would look really good if I could make this, or if it could go with this, and then I start creating entire outfits in my head. Yeah, so that's what happened. I bought this fuzzy little yarn. So initially I bought it just as a spare because I was making my mom's heart-shaped cardigan. As it turns out, I did not need to use it at all. So I had balls of just this lying around, and in my mind I was like, oh, so what can I do with it? I have no idea what to do with it. And I was like, oh, why not make a bucket hat? Fuzzy bucket hat seemed like quite cute and it'll look cute. And then I was like, oh, but if I make a bucket hat, why don't I just make a coat to match it, like a fuzzy cardigan? And then I was like, oh, but if I make a cardigan, why don't I make a dress that will go with it? So yeah, that's where my brain spiraled to, and this is gonna be part 1 out of part 3 of making entirely monochromatic outfit, cow print, mood, vibes, whatever. So yeah, so I was deciding what to start with first, and I figured out that the easiest thing to do would be the cardigan. It's just going to be a bunch of rectangles anyway, so that would definitely be the easiest rather than trying to make into a circle. Yarn like this is a little confusing considering how it's actually a thin line coated with a whole bunch of fuzzies, and I know that it's going to be a little bit challenging to work with, especially when counting and trying to crochet. So I'll start with the cardigan because that will help me get used to it. Here's the pattern that we'll be working with. We're just going to need 5 panels of rectangles, and that is it. So we'll have 2 front panels, and for those we're going to use this 8mm hook. So start as per normal. And then chain 21. Hi, at this point I actually did finish the first row. Afterwards I worked on the second row, which was a single crochet, and then I realized that I did it entirely wrong, so I had to undo the entire thing and start over. I thought that instead of doing a fast forward, I'll just show you like me doing this in real time, because it was honestly really challenging and frustrating. So the whole difficulty for this doesn't really come from the pattern, but more so working with the yarn. I had quite a horrible experience working with the yarn, considering how it was really difficult to see, and most of the times I was just trying to feel my way through it. I lost count several times, so I had to restart the row. I added too many and had to restart the row. I did too little and had to restart the row. So yeah, this whole thing was a journey. It really was. And I had to keep counting, and it was always wrong no matter what I did, especially when it came to the second row, and it was only the second row and I was struggling so much already. I think I spent over an hour just working on the first and second row, and it was just because of the yarn. It was annoying. When I tried to undo it, it got tangled too. So yeah, I mean, this project technically was easy, but it also wasn't, because the challenge came from like other facets. Anyway, I'm not going to torture you with this video of me crocheting really slowly, so I'm just going to cut to once you finish the second row. Yay! So once you finally made it to the end, you're going to chain 1 and then work on the next row. Honestly, from here it gets easier because you can start to really see the holes and feel them. So yeah, just be careful and don't get it twisted. And if you thought the first and second row were hellish, then I'm sorry, but you're gonna need 33 rows of this, so good luck. Okay, anyway, this is just to show you that it actually does get easier. So this is the 5th row that I'm going to be working on, and afterwards you sort of just find your rhythm. So 1, and you can sort of see where the hollows are, and also when you feel it with your fingers, you can start like boop 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 boop. But I recommend really just touching and just creeping on it, and it really does get easier. Like your hand sort of just finds a nice rhythm for it anyway. And you don't have to pull on your yarn that tightly, because you don't need a really high tension, because the fuzzy yarn sort of like covers up these holes anyway. So when it's done, you should have a fuzzy little panel like this. It's just a straight rectangular panel, and you're gonna need 2 of this. And then with that, you finish your front panel. Okay, so this is the sleeve. It is almost exactly the same as the body piece, except that I made the edges a little bit longer here because arms are strange. So yeah, so what it looks like is just it has a curved line, and yeah, the starting of it is exactly the same as the other one. Here we go. Again, make a slip knot. So for this, it's the same except you use a 9mm hook, meaning you also chain 21. But when we work on the sleeve, we're also going to work on it in this direction. So we start from the hem that's nearest your wrist up to where your upper arm / armpit is. Hi, I realize how chaotic this is getting. Anyway, for the sleeves, all you have to do is chain 21 and then keep single crocheting through and through for 30 rows until you reach row 30. Afterwards, you're going to do an increase on either side, meaning your first and your last single crochet are going to have 2 single crochets in them for row 30. Afterwards, you just do single crochets as per normal, and you should end it on row 33 with 22 single crochets. For the back panel, it's just the exact same situation. I didn't really want to show a video of me doing it because it's just going to be the same redundant sort of thing where I go start with a slip knot, blah 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 blah. So for the back panel, what we're trying to do is make something that is 2 of the front panels. Basically, it is the front panel but doubled in one panel, if that makes sense. For the back panel, we're going to start by chaining 41. Afterwards, that will leave us with 40 single crochets, and we just keep going for 33 rows also, and we're done. In theory, this would have been a simple project. In actuality, it was horrible for me. Okay, once we have all the pieces, we just lay it together like this with the front panels here, the back panels there, the sleeves on the side, and then we'll sew or crochet it together, and then we're done. Yay! And once it's done, we have our end result, which I thought was worth all the effort. Despite all the struggle, I really loved how this turned out. I think it's so cute. I love the way that it falls. It's so soft and fuzzy. It's like a hug. I just love it so much. This project would have been really easy if I used a different yarn. Honestly, if you use a different yarn, this is the easiest project that you could ever do. And imagine if you switch up the panels with different colors, and it's just rectangles anyway, and you can make your own version of a cardigan, a super easy cardigan. I love it! Here it is with the bucket hat that I've made, which I will do a video on next week. I think that honestly it goes so well together, and I just love the idea of a put together outfit. Like, it makes me so happy. I feel like it looks great together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you want to, stick around next week for when I do a bucket hat tutorial. If not, it's fine. Hit all the buttony thingies if you want to. And yeah, love you, see you, bye!